What's good, peeps? Thank you, as always, for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. All right, first things first, I just want to apologize for the lighting. I know the lighting in my recent videos has been absolutely crap. I do have like the biggest window in the world here, but there is no sunlight coming in. I'm filming this at like 2:30 in the afternoon and there's still not a lot of sunlight. I've got a light above me. I've had to turn these lights off behind me because the glare was fucking up with the camera. So yeah, apologies for the shit lighting. There's not much I can do. But let's talk Manny Pacquiao versus Thurman. A big fight coming up next month, MGM Grand, Las Vegas. Both guys, what, top 5, top 6 welterweights in the world. Both of them have versions of the WBA belt. Thurman is the legit champion. Manny Pacquiao's got one of those regular belts. I was actually just thinking who Thurman beat to get that belt. I can't remember for the life of me what fight Thurman was in to get that WBA belt. I know he got the WBC from Danny Garcia. Who was the WBA? I can't even remember. But look, this is a good fight, right? I mean, there aren't many negatives to talk about apart from this one. This is a big, big, big with a capital B negative. You guys know I'm like when it comes to steroids in boxing, I'm kind of all over it now. I kind of look for articles that talk about it. And in the lead up to this fight, as is usual with big fights, I almost wait to see that Vada tweet when Vada says something like, "We welcome X and X fighter to the Vada program in the lead up to their big fight." And I've not seen anything. And I'm thinking, surely they're going to announce it soon. I mean, this is Manny Pacquiao versus Thurman. Surely we have Vada testing for this big fight. Not just because, I mean, you can suspect any of those guys of being on some form of PEDs, but just because it's a big fight and it sets example for other fights. Like, look, we do Vada testing, you should as well, right? So I kind of expected to see one of those Vada tweets. It hasn't happened. And just, what, an hour ago or so, I read something online, boxing scene, who said there is no Vada testing for this fight. Now, before people go crazy, it doesn't mean there isn't no drug testing. What it does mean, though, is that there is no Vada testing from when the fight was announced until, what, a couple of weeks after the fight. There might be, as is per usual with most big fights, drug testing on the night and then drug testing the day after. That's kind of all there will be, which means it is a fucking free-for-all. You can take whatever you want to take that might be in your system before and out of your system before fight night, and you're okay. And I think this is utter madness. Now, 9 times out of 10, there are a couple of reasons why Vada won't be used. For smaller fights, it's financial, right? It's not cheap. And sometimes because it's not cheap, it's the boxers themselves that have to pay for Vada testing out of their purse. So sometimes boxers refuse to do that. You can understand why if a boxer's getting, I don't know, 50,000, why they wouldn't want to pay, I don't know, 5 of that to Vada testing. You can understand that. This isn't the case with this one. I mean, both of these guys are going to be getting millions. Pacquiao will be getting way over 10 million and Thurman might be even touching that 10 million figure as well. So this doesn't come down to financial. Most times it comes down to one party saying in their agreement to not have Vada testing. That's kind of what it comes down to. A lot of you guys might not know this, but in the recent Amir Khan versus Terence Crawford fight, Vada testing actually stopped, I think I read 2 to 3 weeks before the fight. Normally, again, it continues before the fight and after the fight. It stopped 2 to 3 weeks before the fight. That was down to one of the fighters. One of the fighters put it in their agreement that they don't want Vada testing up until that. And it's a big fight. Both of them are making money. Someone agreed and they kind of both said, you know what, no Vada testing. This has clearly happened in this fight. I don't give a fuck what anyone tells me. Someone, and I have my suspicions as to who, but someone has said, you know what, we'll do this fight, but no Vada testing. Come on, guys, who do you think said that? Come on, you don't have to be a genius to work out who you think would say, let's not do Vada testing. Who? Come on, you know who. I've always had my suspicions, I have to be honest, with certain boxers, and Pacquiao has always been up there. And look, I might be wrong here. This could be down to Thurman, but I highly doubt it. I've always had my suspicions with Manny Pacquiao when he went through that run. And this little comeback run he's on as well now. I mean, there was no drug testing against Lucas Matisse. We know that. I'm not quite sure what drug testing was done with Broner. But all of a sudden, Pacquiao was back. No, not for me. This is some big bullshit. I can't believe a fight of this magnitude doesn't have Vada testing. I mean, we all saw what they caught Jarrell Miller with when Vada testing was implemented. Jarrell Miller has been able to get away with HGH, EPO, and any other bullshit for as many fights as we like. Vada get involved and start doing testing, pops. Vada get involved with Canelo testing, pops. Vada are good at what they do. They're good at catching cheats. Not everyone, they're not 100% bulletproof, but they're good at catching cheats. And all of a sudden, one of the biggest fights of 2019 doesn't have Vada testing. You must be fucking kidding me. I mean, look, this is the issue as well. If my suspicions are right and one of the persons involved in the fight said no Vada testing, and it was Manny Pacquiao, let's just say it was because I think it was, you can't blame Keith Thurman for agreeing to it, right? I mean, he's crazy too, but Keith Thurman knows this payday is probably bigger than the last 6 or 7 of his paydays combined. And you almost can't blame him for saying, you know what, fuck it, let's just roll the dice. Let's just roll the dice. And that's probably what he's doing right now, because there is no fucking way I'd get in the ring with Manny Pacquiao on the juice. And people might say, Ade, you're jumping to conclusions here. Fuck me, I'm not. I'm not jumping to conclusions. I know a bit about boxing, and I'm telling you now, for no Vada testing, again, 2 reasons. There are only 2 reasons why there are no Vada testing. One, because it's too expensive. I understand that if you're a D-level fighter, right? I do. I still think it's wrong, but I get it. If you get 50 grand, you do not want to give 10% of that away to Vada. That's the reason. That reason doesn't apply for this fight, because this fight is worth at least $25 million, right? The second reason is because one party says, I'm not taking the fight if there is Vada testing. Fact. That's the only other reason. There is no other reason. That's what's happening here, people. It's a shame. It's embarrassing. And I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. I think even Eddie Hearn on Twitter said something like, it's madness. It is madness. Peace.